All right, someone's going to have to talk me down after this one because I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, chapter 1119. Glorious, glorious. So we start off with my heart's utterly broken because Stussy, darling angel, did nothing wrong in her entire life, is crying in the laboratory because Kaku, my least favorite giraffe right now, is telling her to leave. He's denying Edison's claim that they were friends. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. I respected you as a colleague, but we're not friends. Now you have to get out of here. He is holding back tears. And it's obvious that he's just trying to get her to leave because Lucci will kill her when he shows up. But at the same time, how hard is it to just say, listen, we are friends. We've worked together all this time. I appreciate everything you've done for me and that you let me out of the bubble jail, but now you have to run because Lucci's going to kill you for this. How hard is that? Why are we lying? First get fired from Galila, and now you upset Stussy, and I'm upset about it. That being said, he obviously cares, so I'll forgive him eventually. Darling Angel Stussy feeling rejected, possibly a little betrayal, alone as Vegapunk is dead. The other Vegapunks are being targeted, and she's being driven off. With nothing else to do, she obviously will have to find a found family of her own, take in all the other clones, form a pirate ship, and go off and live her own life and find her own dream. I'm excited for that. Can I get that, please? I've been waiting for it forever. We see Bonney in the Nika form, and I was really shocked after I posted the last video to learn that people were not happy about that. I'm more confused by the comments I've seen saying this came out of nowhere, because you're lying about that. The foreshadowing was basically her entire character, and this entire arc. But not liking it is completely fair. If you just want Luffy to have the Nika fruit and it's just not your vibe, I'm all for the vibes feel off, it just doesn't work for you. That's cool. That's an opinion, that's fine, that's cool. Also, are we sure people are complaining that they don't like it? Because I really haven't seen anyone say they hate this. They hate that Bonney has Nika's fruit. I just see people responding saying people are hating on this and this is why they shouldn't be hating on it. But that being said, I also don't have Twitter, so it could be a Twitter thing. But overall, I'm really happy with how Nika is in with Bonney's fruit. It worked for me. Again, I'm still working under the impression that the Gorosei and Saturn specifically were manipulating that devil fruit, trying to get a hold of Nika's powers for themselves, because jealousy, greed wants that power. But in my opinion, like, this is going to very easily work with her powers, as Distorted Future allows her to transform her body to be that of a different reality, alternate timeline, where she did eat Nika's devil fruit and gained all its powers, went through the trials, tribulations, to get to the point that it could be unlocked. A version of herself that ate that fruit and had this power now. But the reason it works is because her 12-year-old body, form, mind doesn't really have the most granite concept of this reality, let alone other realities, allowing her imagination to fill in the gaps. And as Mercury has said, or was it Saturn? It was Saturn, probably. The more she learns about how the world works, the more limitations will be placed on her imagination. So it would render the number and degrees of realities that she could believe could have possibly existed. So right now, when she's on this high of emotions, learning the truth about her parents, about Kuma, his love for her, what happened to him, and seeing Nika for the first time, having searched for him all these years, she's on adrenaline, high on belief, emotions, everything has just gone crazy with herself. She could probably believe in anything, believe in herself more than she ever could, and reach the state of freedom to transform as easily as she did. I would imagine in the future, when it's not life or death, crazy, everything being as it's been in this arc, that it might be a little bit harder for her to transform. And we see later in the arc that, or in this chapter, that she wasn't able to hold on, saying being free is exhausting. She had to revert back to her regular form. So I really think there's going to be enough limitations on this power that it's not going to be completely overpowered. But that being said, her devil fruit is completely overpowered as it is. But no, I love the idea of her having this distorted future form that she can enter for a Nika form. I love it. And it worked very well for this one because Luffy needed a little bit of a power boost to help take on Mars, who's coming at them in the bird form. Fire blasts at him. Luffy takes the attack. Well, he screams a lot. It's probably a bit of a problem. That burn, that was not good. But apparently he's not melting. And he tells everyone that he wants them to attack him. In his imagination, I guess, will combine the forces of their attack to send Mercury, sorry, why do I keep saying Mercury? Send Mars flying, because they're too durable to really hurt, that the only real option is to just send them away. So Bonnie's just like, you're crazy, I'm not attacking you, you're Nika, I'm not doing that. Meanwhile, Frankie and Sanji are like, captain's orders, and they attack with everything they got. Luffy harnesses that power, complains a little bit, you guys use hockey, that hurts, and uses the power to blast Mars away. So it worked out well. Love his imagination. I think that's the only reason this worked. The Giants are cheering for Nika just slightly before this and slightly after. They're dancing. They're just very excited. Previously, I think it was Mars had said, like, this Bonney isn't a real Nika, it's a fake form or something like that. It's a copy with her devil fruit, because again, as far as Saturn and the Gorosei are aware, the experiment failed for whatever they were doing. And now Atlas is going to check on Nami and Usopp and the others to see where they are, because they're late leaving. Fingers crossed they're okay. Because we haven't seen Zoro or Horse Gorosei recently, and I'm really hoping that Robin's okay and everyone else. Atlas is talking to Lilith, talking about how York is targeting the other Vegapunks. And I got a feeling what they're going to communicate is we have to disconnect from Punk Records, because that's how they're able to target and trace us. So if they disconnect, they won't be able to communicate with each other. They'll be separated, but they won't be targeted. So I'm also assuming that's what Edison did. What else happens? Oh, to my utter shock, was not expecting it. Vegapunk pops back on the screen like, I'm back, bitches. Did you think I was done with this message? Did you think the message was over? And I'm like, I did. I thought Oda had just given me a taste of the Void Century and that was it. Again, that's kind of all he did in this chapter too, but there's a chance it might continue a little bit. So it's been disrupted and we missed the important information, but now he's talking about the will, the inheritance, and presumably the will of D. However, there's also possibly the fact that we've mentioned, like, was it lineage factors, inheritance, that way of the DNA and the devil fruit, if influencing that. So I'm wondering if that's what he's talking about. It's a little bit tinfoil hat crazy. But if the will of D was related to a devil fruit that altered one's DNA, then that lineage factor could be carried on genetically through families, maybe? So it's just we have like multiple people with the name Willa D who don't seem to be that connected. But that being said, like 100 years has passed, or 1,000 years have passed. So clearly the bloodlines could have split up a lot, but like, is it going to be diluted? Mitochondrial DNA passed along by the mother, which is how we have Lily, the mother or ancestor from Vivi. Ace had two parents, but obviously his mother also had the D. Nah, Luffy got Dragon, though. That's how he got his D in the name. Same with Garp. I don't know anything about his parents. Is it possible Luffy's mother also had D in her name? Because if it's passed down through mitochondrial DNA, we need to follow the maternal bloodline. Regardless, it could be anything. Who knows? Who knows? But Vegapunk says, to whoever have suffered because of this, I pray that my voice has reached you. And I'm like, your message got cut off. You should repeat your message multiple times. Now this is when I start freaking out, because rumblings in the water, and all of a sudden CP number whatever agents are falling from the sky, as well as the Seraphins. Now, we see the worm, Gorosei, Jupiter come up through the water. And I'm like, no, I can't, this is a little crazy. Clearly, he's not mostly submerged in water or come up through the water, because a devil fruit user loses their power in the water like this, if they're mostly or partially submerged. Clearly, I'm not going to go crazy and presume that that's what's going on. He must be coated in earth or something, a tunnel that has brought up with him. That's obviously what's going on. So the CP agents are falling. On a side note, there's been theories going around that one of the Gorosei will be a traitor and will actually be on our side. Jupiter was a strong contender for that just because his name, Saints Shepherd Jew Peter, and Peter and Shepard's religious imagery normally are given to like good characters, so there was thought there. I'm more of a fan of when those names who you think would be good end up being the most evil. It's ironic kind of thing. But if someone is going to betray them, the idea that he had just saved, supposedly, the agents as they were falling from their original place and then spit them out to be caught by the Marines, that's a good hint in his favor that he might actually be a good guy. But again, back to the water issue. I'm like, he must not be touching the water. But then Mercury, the boar, starts running across the water towards the ship to attack. And I'm like, no, we're running on water. We are touching water. So my brain immediately is going towards the idea that these are not devil fruit users. There was no confirmed names of devil fruits. They were in a summoning circle. These are actual devils. They're devils. They're demons. Demons, angels, same thing. Who knows? And I'm very excited because if they're devils, then the underworld exists and I can get to the underworld. I want the underworld. My tinfoil hat has taken over. I need someone to talk me down because I'm excited. I want it. And I'm going to live in this delusion for the next 2 weeks until the next chapter crashes me back down to reality and explains what just happened. Or probably someone in the comments like, no, this is what's going on. I'll be sad. But because I want them to be devils. On a less crazy note, explanations for if they are touching the water could easily be theories going around that Eam is... So the Gorosei are like offshoots of a main body. They share a hive mind. They are almost like one person, with Eam being the main body and them just being offshoots of him. So if they're allowed to touch the water because the main body is not touching the water. I like the idea a little bit where there is a water devil fruit and a curse has been placed on the water to prevent anyone else with a devil fruit from touching it. It becomes their weakness because the water devil fruit user has control of the water. And as Boa explained to Blackbeard with her devil fruit, the former user of it turns someone to stone. The next user of it can't undo that power. So if that kind of just goes to show that there are devil fruits that can last generations and lifetimes. So, or it's not broken when someone dies. And if Eam or someone under Eam's command has a water devil fruit, then they can say no one else can touch the water, but my people can. So there's two explanations. I'm sticking with devils. They're devils. Underworld is real and these are demons. One more or less crazy explanation would be there's definitely some fire like in around the water and some designs for around especially like the boar's feet that could very easily just be like the clouds that Kaido had used. So he might not be running on the water. He might be running on the air just slightly above the water. That's the most likely explanation for what's going on. I thought I mentioned that already. Luffy ends up punching the worm and the boar is driving past him. He's warning, watch out, the pig's skin is really hard and tough. And just as it's about to hit the ship, Iron Giant, out of the water, smashes him in the face, breaks one of the tusks off. So we just got Luffy reminding us, like, hey, his skin is really, really tough. And granted, he didn't break the skin, he broke the tusk. But still, that's impressive. So the Iron Giant has a lot of power. Side note. I liked the idea of the Iron Giant having a soul within them, similar to, like, you know, the shadow that the Devil Fruit can put into an inanimate object, or someone in the comment section had mentioned the soul fruit could have transferred a soul into an inanimate object. So definitely a possibility. Would that be discountered by the water? Would the water prevent the Devil Fruit's placed soul from being able to control the Iron Giant because he's surrounded by water? Does that mean this is just technology, maybe gain sentience? Or would the soul be inside and could still control the outside? It's probably, who knows? But we had a name for the Iron Giant. As we hear, I already forgot the name. Did I mention I'm bad with names? Listen up, Emeth. So presumably spoken by Joy Boy. The time is here. So whatever Joy Boy had been planning 1,000 years ago, maybe a little bit 200 years ago when the Iron Giant first attacked Marie Joie to set something up, failed, shut down, realized he was too early. The same way Roger was too early. Maybe. I'm excited. So something is going to happen. It's break week next week. I'm upset about that. Luffy is freaking out because giant robot. Everyone else is like, what is that? And I'm so excited. I don't know what to say. I'm very, very happy. I'm very excited. I love this chapter. Vegapunk's message is continuing. I got more tinfoil hats, canon theory stuff, fodder for my underworld. I'm excited to see what the Iron Giant's going to do. I want to hear more about the Willa D. Gorosei might be able to be held back long enough for everyone to get away, and I just want to see what happens next. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. All right, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye.